Okay, so what the introduction I'm about to read here is from the book Survived to Forgive, Never Again to Genocide, Rwanda 1994. And the author is Josiane Umulinga. I hope I've pronounced that right.
Very well.
Okay. Josiane Umulinga is a resilient survivor of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. Emerged from the ashes as a blessed mother of three. In the aftermath of the genocide, she faced numerous life challenges. However, she views these hardships as a divine path leading to her destiny. It became clear that God intended for her to embark on a journey of preaching the gospel of forgiveness. Josiane not only survived the genocide, but also found the strength within her to forgive, a testament to the indomitable spirit that can emerge from the darkest chapters of history. Josiane, for some of us, the Rwandan story, which it is basically your story, you have lived this story. For us, it seems far-fetched. It seems something that is far away, something that we may not even encounter in our lifetime. But for somebody who has lived this story, how is Rwanda moving on? How is Rwanda past 1994?
You mean post-genocide?
Yes.
Rwanda is doing well. Rwanda is recovering. We thank God because we got, for instance, now we don't have tribes in Rwanda. It's something very positive, which I can say. We got a chance to have a good and the right leadership. Now that is unifying Rwandese. Rwandan people that first what they did, they removed tribes in Rwanda because the tribes they didn't save us at all. So they removed it. Rwanda is doing well, I think, and I know you have heard that is the most cleanest country in Africa. The security, there is no corruption. Rwanda is from the ash to the glory.
What do you mean by they removed tribes? Because Kenya tribe is more, it's part of our identity, and we can't fathom a nation without tribes. What do you mean by that statement, they removed tribes?
And here you don't fight because of tribes. For us, the tribe was a matter of fighting, a matter of inequality in the country. So the new government saw that they were not serving us at all. As long as we are having tribes from the history of the Rwanda, the Rwandese were just fighting because of the tribe. Say it from before even the independence. That was the problem of Rwanda. So the time they removed those tribes, they decided we are all Rwandese. In fact, the new generation, they don't know about tribes. They don't know about Tutsi, Hutu. Try to ask nowadays a Rwandese person what tribe you are. They don't know, because we have become a Rwanda. That is what is giving us peace. We are all now Rwandese, which is making us peace. Yes.
1994. Allow me to take you back to 1994. For me, I think the only a picture I have of 1994, and I believe for most of us, is Hotel Rwanda. That is the closest we can speak about 1994. But you are in the midst of all this. How old were you in 1994?
I was 14 years old.
14 years old.
Yes.
A teenager.
A teenager.
When everything broke loose in your country. Can you give us a history of this and the situation you are in?
Yes. Maybe what I can tell you, the genocide doesn't occur overnight. It is a process. It has a preparation. And it has indoctrination, where you can start you have to prepare even the killers, even the perpetrators of the genocide. You have to prepare them. Maybe I can take you a slightly before. Okay, all the journey of preparing the genocide. And so before the genocide, Rwanda has that problem I was telling you about, the tribe issues. once one tribe is taking over the government, another tribe was
being discriminated.
That was the problem of Rwanda. So me, I've been born in a Tutsi family. We have been discriminated because now the government was a Hutu power government. Hutu government mostly of them. So they were discriminating Tutsi, and even now, let me start slightly early during the revolution in 1959, and when now the Hutu government or that government took power, many Rwandese, mostly from Tutsi community, they fled the country, going to neighboring countries, Uganda, Burundi, Congo, Zaire that time, Tanzania. Many of them fled the country. Few of Tutsi community remained in the country, my family included. And now those who fled the country that time since 1959, they tried to come back in the country to their homeland peacefully. Now that government, they didn't allow them. They made few attempts, like 3 attempts to come back to their country, but they didn't allow them. Now come 1990 is where now they decided to come by fire and by force. They came back as rebels to come back to their country. And they come as rebels. Now the result of that, Tutsis inside the country, they became automatically allies of their families, who came back. So we are accused to be their allies, to be they were our family anyway. Even though we didn't, there is no communication at all. There is no communication at all. And now that government came back to Tutsi inside the country, being allies. You are the one who are providing information. We are accused on all that manner of accusation of being the allies of now the rebels. And the negotiation started. The rebels were fighting, trying to take over the country. Now inside the country, Tutsis now who were inside the country, that government started planning the genocide. I was like 10 years old. There is a story I wrote in my book that my mother was a very Christian woman I have ever known. In fact, sorry if I become
emotional.
Talking to my mom up to date is still a challenge because of after the genocide is something that it took me time to make peace with it. Because I know our house, we had the altar of prayers. Even the genocide perpetrators who came now to kill my family were among of that altar of prayers.
So why is it difficult to talk to your mother?
Because it took more time, because after the genocide I become like an atheist. I said, God, I thought you are powerful, God. Why did you allow that? You could do let everyone die except my mother, who served you with all her heart. So I don't know my mother, 5 a.m. in the house, she was always up to go to church every single day. She was serving she was helping orphans, is the image of my mother I have. So now, where was I? I was in 1990 when they came back.
They're planning.
Yes, when the preparation of the genocide, it has stages. The preparation of the genocide. There is a story I wrote in my book. Now I remember, where I was like 9 years old. It's right before even 1990. I went to school. We had what we called ethical calls. where they in a class they were saying who is Tutsi, Tutsis to stand up, Hutu to stand up, to know the number of Tutsi who are in school, to know the number of Hutus who are in school. And that time I didn't know at all that if I am Tutsi or a Hutu. I went back to my house to say, oh, by the way, my teacher would want to know if I am a Hutu or a Tutsi. I remember my brother, my big brother, very bigger than me, he wrote it in envelope. I went back to school. I give to my teacher. The next year, because there is that ethical call they were doing every year to know how many Tutsi who are in school, to know how many Hutus, how many Twa. By the way, we were 3 tribes. Another is very minority.
The Twa.
The Twa one. And the next year, the same question came. And then my mother told me, just go to tell them that you are Tutsi. I went back in school. I say, oh, I am a Tutsi. Innocently, everyone looked at me like a stranger. Is where I started, what's wrong with Tutsis? We know we were so minority in class. We were like 2. And I went back to my home to say, by the way, even my friend, they didn't want to play with me, you know, the kids, because I said that I am a Tutsi. What's wrong with Tutsi? And then is my brother now started telling me there is discrimination against our tribe, is the reason why you saw that brother of mine was chased from school. There is a reason why my father used to work in the bank. He was chased from the bank. He was forced to work to create his his means of surviving as a business person. He was not business oriented at all, but he had to survive. He has a big family of 9 children.
He has to feed them.
So it is the reason why our father is no more working in the bank. And then innocently I said, and then why you can't be Hutu? If it's the way to get off better or of being Hutu, say no, it doesn't work like that. We are Tutsi, we are born Tutsi, we have to survive, but we have to survive anyway. So we have to fight to our right as a citizen, but we will survive.
So this, what I'm hearing is at the preparation stage for the genocide. It is not just the adults. Even the children have been indoctrinated. In school, they are the ones who are now looking at you funny.
Yes, because they were telling a Tutsi is an enemy. A Tutsi is a dangerous person. A Tutsi is allies. A Tutsi, because of those history of Tutsis who are trying every 10 years to come back to their home country. So even a Tutsi is an enemy. Indoctrination was all over. The reason why I say genocide doesn't occur in one day. It can't happen. So 1990 came, where now there is a story I wrote in my book that they took all Tutsis, especially those who are educated and are wealthy, to jail them. They came to our house. My father tried to escape. He escaped that time to our neighbors, and they captured my mother. Those Tutsis, they spent 6 months in a jail. And it was a very hard time. My mother and many Tutsis from 1990 October, they were 6 months, they were jailed. And that time started now openly, officially. The group of killers tried to be formed, they started to be formed and started to be equipped. And there is a story I wrote in my book that I was coming from school with my friend. Her name is Janine. I wrote her even in my book. We went to her house. She was my childhood friend. We went to her house. Now, coming to her house, like in their backyard, the killers, they called them interahamwe. In Kinyarwanda, I mean people who work together. It was a good word that has been transformed to a bad deed. So I met the group of interahamwe training in their backyard. Me being innocent, I didn't know that they have started being trained. And for me was something interesting. I sat down with them. We were watching those young people. Now you will get to know why I'm having a passion to talk to young generation, to our Gen Zs nowadays. And they were now there's someone who was lecturing them how to know a Tutsi. A Tutsi is a tall person. Mostly they are dark. Their nose is, even physical featuring, their nose is like very narrow. Those are nonsense, physical featuring. Tutsis is an enemy of the country. He was lecturing those lectures, telling to young people, indoctrinated. For them, they accepted, is what I think, what he was saying, because they were passionate to defend their nation. So they were telling them that to defend their nation is to erase or to move the threat of national security, which was a Tutsi. And each and every neighborhood, they had a list of Tutsis. In our neighborhood, I don't know what the criteria. I wish to meet the Nerang of my neighborhood nowadays, but my family was always number one on the list of each and every neighborhood. And then they started saying, oh, now like this neighborhood, we are having that family. I was young. They didn't know that I'm coming from that family. Me and my friend, it became awkward. The list of that, the Tutsis in our neighborhood, they start listing them.
With your family at the top.
At the top of the list. And then it became awkward. And then I tell my friend, oh, you know what? Let me go just home to finish the homework. And then I remember that time I ran. I went to my mother. I say, I was in so house. They were saying, they read a list of Tutsi to be killed. We are among them. My mother was so calm. I said, no. God will not allow them to kill us. She was so calm. The story maybe I didn't tell you. After they jailed my mother, my father fled to Burundi. The reason why my father survived the genocide, now 1994, he was not in the country. He was not in the country. So my mother was so calm. Now, after the genocide, now my father was in the Burundi. We had the opportunity to visit him in 1993. Another thing which I didn't make peace with it is because we went to Burundi to visit my father, and then we came back to Rwanda. I was always saying, it's just 1 year. We could just stay there.
Just stay a little longer.
You see? But yeah. And even this one I didn't. It took me time to make peace with it, because we had that opportunity. We went and then we came back because my mother was no, we have to go back to school. It's okay. They will not kill us. God will not allow it. And the international community
will not allow.
They are watching the situation in the country. Those were just myths. It was no international security community. They were there, but they left.
Immediately they
just left us in our mess. And it started like that. Tutsis, I wrote in my book how my family was threatened. There is a story I wrote how my big sister was beaten after school. Just was the situation was becoming from bad to worse for a Tutsi.
Now that is the build-up.
Now 1994 comes.
Yes.
Started with the flight of the President Habyarimana that time, where the fall of the flight. Now was a big reason to say, they say, oh, you see, now they are killing. Even our president was like a catalyst of the genocide that has been prepared. So it means each and every neighborhood has the designated killers to each and every neighborhood. They had a list of people to kill. So it was a very good preparation. They were equipped with the machete, with the arms, with the bombs, with everything. Say the night of the flight, a friend of my brother, now I'm telling you the story of my family particular, we heard from the news that the flight of the president died in the flight. And of course, we had to rock inside ourselves that now to pray. And we had around 1 p.m. like that. But let me tell you, we were so much, as being young, say, oh my God, now the Inkotanyi rebels, our families, they are taking over. Now our struggle is ended. My mother said, you don't know what you are talking. We will be killed left, right, center before that. Now it is our end. I couldn't see the fear of my mother that night. But being just younger, we are just, I couldn't, even now, is now where I see, I can relate to that fear of that night. But around 1 p.m., a friend of my big brother, who had become Interahamwe, but he valued so much the relationship of the friendship with my brother, he came to knock to our gate. He said, I remember my brother went, his name was Regis. He went to the gate, he opened for him. He said, he was even, they had their uniform. He was in uniform already, 1 a.m. in the night. He said, I don't know if my voice will help you or will save you, but let me tell you, if you can leave that house, it's better. Very early in the morning, we are starting with here. Kindly, I don't know if you people will survive, but let me do my best. Anyway, his voice is the reason why I'm here. His intervention that night is the reason why I'm talking to you. And of course, Regis didn't survive. My brother, I was coming from a family of 9 siblings. 5 of them died. 3 who were in the country survived, and 1 was outside.
So your brother remained, or what happened?
That night, I continued the story.
Yes.
Now, he came back. He said, he told us what the killer just told him. And then my mother I told you, you put on your sweaters, you go just leave that house. And then we were telling my mother to go where? 1 a.m. Even the villagers, they didn't know yet. People were sleeping. And my mother said, go wherever they will open for you. So we scattered. We scattered in that night. Like me and my sister, we went to knock where our friends were. And then my mother said, because our neighbors, they knew the struggle of our family. And not, when I come here, not all Hutus who are become killers. We have to be clear. I have always to be clear like that. Being a Hutu doesn't make you a killer. Killers, they are the people who purposed to be killers. So we went to open for some good Hutus who opened for us that night. We were so scared. Everyone is listening the radio that we told you now Tutsis has killed our president Habyarimana. You have to start killing them. They are the enemy of the country. They are the one. Indoctrination was a lot on the radios. And hate speech. And now 6 a.m. First bombs. We had them bombarding our house. And luckily that no one was inside there. We were all scattered that night. And we survived that night. Now they came inside the house to see that no one was killed. And then the propaganda started. We told you, those people, how they knew that we were coming to bombard them. They have to be around here. We saw them. We were monitored. From yesterday night, they were around here. Now they started pressuring the neighbors who were hiding us. Whoever who will find that a member of that family, hiding a member of that family, is becoming automatically allies. The neighbors got scared. Now, our house, there is a chapter I wrote in my book called Life in Gas Chamber. I use that analogy to show that all genocide, they are equally the same because of even how the Jews have been killed. Was in gas chamber. There was a small room remained from entire house. It was a big house of 5 bedrooms. There's that a very small room which was not entirely burned down. Now the neighbors said, you go, those now neighbors who had good intention to hide us. No, you go back to that room, we'll protect you from there. And we had no choice to go back to that room, which I called gas chamber because it has smokes on the small window, the debris of grenades. We had to live in that room. If I remember, I tried always to remember, was like 5 days.
So at this time you are with, you're moving with your sisters, brothers, how many are you?
Everyone came back because everyone came back except Brother Regis. We didn't know where he went to hide. He didn't come back to the to gas chamber, if I can call it like that. So the rest, we found ourselves come back to that gas chamber. Is the council of the neighborhood. They decided, my family, they have to go back in that small remaining room. We'll protect them from there, which was a lie. Was just to monitor us until the day God said, until the day our day ended. Maybe you can pass me the book, please. There is until 18 of April, if I can read a bit.
Yes.
18 of April 1994, most of my family members took their final breath. Run and pray. Run and pray. Were my mother's words, and that was the last time I heard her soft voice. Now,
18th April, this is 14 days into the genocide.
Yes.
This is the 14th day.
Yes. Now, that day, 18th of April, we had Interahamwe killers coming from far. They had that way they are coming with very loud and they were coming towards where we were.
The gas chamber.
Yes. We saw their group coming towards us. We saw from the window. My mother now is where she said, run and pray. Run and pray. And then I remember my brother was a small window like that. They start, as young children, they start throwing us from the window. Me, I wanted to stay with them. I thought everyone is behind me. We are just all running. So me and my younger sister, we ran. We ran towards where? To a house of a killer. One of the killer's member, he was in the group. When he left his house, he didn't lock the gate. As we found this open gate, we ran inside. me and my younger sister. Apparently, my big brother, whom I followed, he followed us, but I didn't see him. He followed us. He went to hide somewhere in a tree. But he saw where my sister and me and my sister, we ran inside that gate. He saw it apparently. And they came, they found the rest of my family in my book, in my memoir. Whoever who will read that book, they will read how it went, how the discussion, how my mother, when I wrote about it, the witness of the crime scene, what they told us, how my mother negotiated to be killed as the last person. Because he didn't want her daughters to be raped. And now my two big sisters. And I remember she had the money she had, we were running, she had her money in her bra. Was like 30,000 Rwandese money that time, is let's say like $20 something. And and then there is a bank check she had. She wrote a bank check to those killers because she was saying, it's okay, we are going to be killed, but I want to make sure that I want to be the last one to be killed. They said, that is no problem. Our killers were faithful. They did it. They killed first. Oh, again, she bought to be killed by bullet, not by machete.
So
not by panga.
By writing a bank check, this is for what purpose?
To buy those privileges.
Oh.
Not to be killed by machete, and to be killed by the last one. Is why now a witness killers who was on a crime scene, she told us she didn't want her daughters to be killed, and then she bought the privilege death, which was bullet that time. It was expensive. Yeah, they killed them like one by one. I had me when I was now inside. I remember I was under the bed. We ran inside that house. It was a man who was living only with his only wife. His wife was the best friend of my mother. I remember they ran that prayer altar together. And they had no children. We ran inside their house. We sneaked under one of their bedroom. The woman was sleeping, and the radio was very on high volume. The reason why she didn't hear us entering the house, and we were sneaking as well. And maybe it was even God's way to save us, because that volume was just abnormal. And we were inside under their bed. I had even the is it the voice of the round, how the bullet. I had it because we were like in 500 meters away from now our house. So we could hear the bullet exactly. I was counting the number of bullets. I said, no, it can't be my family. But it's exactly, but the way you don't want to believe. And we stayed there under their bed. We were just, my sister was crying. I was just holding her mouth. That woman couldn't hear us. And what surprised me, was early in the morning. It happened early in the morning, around 7 a.m. like that. Around 1 p.m., we are still under the bed. The man came, the killer, the man of the house, came back for lunchtime. We're seeing the woman cooking for her husband. She was just passing the room. We see her.
All this time you're under the bed.
We are under the bed, but we can monitor her movement.
Yes.
And the man come for lunchtime. And he said, oh, by the way, he was now giving the report to the wife. We killed so and so and so. He started saying that we killed that family, my family name, and then we froze under the bed. But we missed like 3 children of them. We couldn't. There are 3 children who are still on run. And then what surprised me most is the response of my mother's friend.
The wife now.
The wife. Now she said, you see, I owned my friend to leave those supporting the rebels. Now is costing the life of her family. But she had no regret at all. She had no voice of sorry. She had, how to call it, she was just
not empathetic at all.
Not empathetic at all. And me, I know her as my mother's best friend.
And a person she's praying with.
A prayer warrior woman. The reason why I said, after the genocide, I said, no, those prayers of Rwandese that time were just, I couldn't believe them. They were just hypocritical, if I can use that word. Was no really God involved in their heart. And now we stayed there until around 4 p.m. The man was just like a working day for them, was defending the country. So he took a nap nicely around 3-4. He went back to work. And when he went back to work, even the wife had health conditions, I remember. He went back to bed as well. Now we sneaked out of that house. There is another story I wrote in my book which was hard for me as well. Is how I wrote how my brother Olivier, I said in my book that I live the legacy of my brother. His life, because when now they are missing 3 children, they killed the rest of the family with a bullet. Now 3 children, they are coming to look for them.
The 2 of you and the one who
my
is
brother
on the tree.
In the tree. Now, apparently, again the story from the witnesses. My brother saw where my sister and I were. Apparently, there is someone who revealed that we entered that gate. Now, when the group of Interahamwe killers noted, they wanted to enter that gate. Now, my brother revealed himself to distract them. He didn't want them to come
and find you,
to find us. So he ran in a different direction to distract them. So obviously they captured him, they killed him, and it was a very hard chapter of my book as well, because of even after the genocide, I heard that story that he gave his life to me and to my sister and I. It took me time. I had to live the life of me and himself, and always I had like there is something I owe him. What he could be done nowadays in that stage of life, I wanted to do for me and for him. There is those post-traumatic the survivors had before Jesus came to heal us.
So when you run out of the house of this killer, where do you head to? Now
the life of hiding all over started. There is uncle of mine who was our neighbor. We met a run life. We met him during the night. We were running under in the bush, and there is someone I wrote in my book is kind of my hero. He was our house help, and he was a Hutu community, from a Hutu community. And but he's the one who helped us to survive up to now. Is to be honest, God used him as a tool for me to be here, because he was the one now hiding us every night, every day. He used to go to now they had a meeting every night. Tomorrow we were focusing in that area. We had that family, they might be here. Tomorrow we focus on that area. As they had a strategic meeting every night. So that guy who was a helper to my house, he used to join those meetings, and then he knew where now to place us. And he's the one who was feeding us like 3 times a week. He knew now for 2 days you might stay in that bush. I will try to get you some food if I can. He couldn't do it openly. And he was the one who was feeding, like he knew where he maybe he say we are looking in if the strategic meeting decided that we are now focusing on that area, he was now placing us to a different area. And is how he survived. He was trying to give us food like twice a week. And it was a run period, and we knew that anytime we will be killed. Until now, 3 months, we're in that life. Yeah, now the FPR, now currently in the government, took over the country, is how we survived.
So after, it ended after 100 days, if I'm not wrong.
90 days.
90 days.
Yes.
So for you did not get out of the country, because I believe most of those who survived were somehow managed to get out of the country. You just survived during the genocide?
No. My younger sister, I wrote the story. She was very young, like 6 years old at that time. Now, when we came back to Gas Chamber, she didn't come back. My mother left her to a Hutu family, whom he was like age mate of her children. They stayed there. Now that family, they ran out of the country. They went to Congo. After the genocide, we went to look for my sister in Congo. But as we survived it, we stayed inside the country. Yes.
So these are people that you know, the killers. These are people that you've lived with
very well.
These are your community members. At that time, what is going through your mind? I can't even try to imagine if the people I know, the neighbors I've lived with, I've grown up with, turn out to be the worst.
Yes. It's now it is now what shows that indoctrination was real. Because those people who became killers, we grew together, we grew up together, we suffered together. And now, as my family, we had a prayer altar. Most of them were coming every night to pray to our house. But indoctrination told them, by the way, even if you have been praying with that family, they are the one now.
They are the enemies.
The problem of our country is having is that particular family. So we saw them, even up to now, we couldn't understand how people who are together. There is one guy, my mother was a godmother to that person. He came among the group of killers to kill her godmother because the value of the country was more
than the friendships and all that. So you mentioned that for a long time you struggled even with faith now, believing God. After that, He could have saved your mother, who was a prayer warrior, as you have said. How do you navigate through that period of disbelief?
PTSD was real for survivors, because my personal experience after the genocide, I told you I had to make peace on how my mother died. And because I said God is a myth. We grew up, they told us God is so powerful, God can prevent anything, God. So after the genocide, they become rebellious towards God. And again, there is now Brother Regis. We didn't know how, if he's still alive. After the genocide, you always had that hope. Maybe he
somewhere.
He ran to Congo. He ran with those killers.
Maybe he's in Uganda.
He don't know. Maybe he's in Uganda. We had those post-traumatic experiences. We lived differently from. Each survivor can tell you the post-traumatic experience. Another experience I had when we were in gas chamber. Now there are men who were coming to tell my mother, by the way, you can give us your daughters, we go to protect them. But quote unquote, they wanted to go just to rape them, to do what? My mother refused. No, if you protect us. People just were coming just to mock on us because now we are powerless. And after the genocide, imagine, I was kind of, again, another post-traumatic, another PTSD. I said, I saw people who were being raped, passing the cancer cancelled, and they survived. Their life become normal. And then I said, why surely my mother didn't give my sisters out? Now they could be alive, and then pass through the counseling. They could now survived. There are those small issues. And then I was asking myself, and then I was guilty of stay alive. I said maybe I was selfish. Maybe I could stay with my family. Maybe I could make sure that everyone is out of that room that time. Maybe I could take them under the bed with me. Maybe. There are those answers we are looking in our head as if we had power. As if us who survived is from our mighty. And then after the genocide, like let's say after 3 to 4 years, I was a big atheist. And the word of God say, train a child the ways of the Lord, they will never depart
from them.
Imagine the equal voice of my mother start echoing my ears. When I sleep, I heard those voices. Like my mother, I'm not proud of you. God is faithful. You should go back to God. I heard those. When I sleep, I start missing peace. I say, maybe my mother is not happy with me since I'm not praying. She always wanted us to pray. I remember I was in a boarding school. I just went back to church just to see what God is telling. It's kind of giving him a second chance. Like kind of giving God a second chance. I went back to church just to hear, because that voice was becoming too much. Echoes my mother saying, I'm not happy, you should go back. My mother, I went back to church to make my mother proud. Only for that. Not just to go back for God. But I didn't know now God wanted me to come back to him. So I come back to church. I started now feeling a bit of peace. But we are still questioning why happened, since God is so powerful. Why did God did allow? Why? We had so many questioning. And healing is not a day in a day. It is a process as well. And we passed through that process. Myself, my healing was from God. There are those who were healed from counseling. There are those who are still sick up to date, 3 decades after. I saw after the genocide, my book is about forgiveness. And after that as well, I got married 11 years after the genocide. Yeah, I was quite young.
25?
No.
At the time you were getting married? 22.
22. I'm quite young. How many years now? Yeah. I got married now. Get into marriage. You are not fully healed. You are expecting a lot. You are seeing everyone like you trust is even a problem.
Difficult.
It's difficult because we saw people who are trusted what they did. Trust is still difficult. You don't want to trust a human being again. And then you go in that marriage and then it couldn't work. You are marrying someone else who has the same wound like you.
So you are two broken
hearts are meeting to give what? So of course couldn't work. And those are wounds after wounds. Those marriage didn't last long. And but the more I get closer to God, the more now when I came back to Kenya, the marriage promoted to us is 2014 is where now we decided we separated. And now I came closer to God. Closer to God. I said, God, why me? Why me? Why? But I didn't know God has a purpose to me. Now the more I get closer to God, the more He revealed the reason why me to survive, the purpose of me surviving.
On forgiveness, and you say that your book is about forgiveness. Why would you say that you decided to forgive? Because there are people who, if they went through what you went through, they never find the heart to forgive. Why did you decide to forgive?
It's not like I decided. It's a mission I got. After God healed my heart, He gave me the grace of forgiveness. And I remember people, survivors, among survivors, they were so angry about my book. There are few who are, and then I still understand them. Because I wrote in my book that surviving is a grace. It is a grace. It is not something you can decide to do. It is not something you can say, okay, today I'm surviving, I'm forgiving. No. It is a grace coming from God, because the more you get closer to the throne of God, the more now God, you read the Bible, the word of God, that Jesus, even up to date, He's on the right hand of His Father, interceding for our sins. So I got the grace to see the first image of God when He created the human being. God didn't, the name of God calling us is not according to our sins. God created a human being in His own image. So I got the grace to see the human being in his initial calling, initial image of God. What Jesus is interceding up to date is to become back to the initial. That is the reason why Jesus came to die for us, to become back, to reconcile us with the Father. So I got that grace to see that even the killers, they like Stephen said, they didn't know what they are doing. Is the result of the fall. So I got that grace to see them from their initial calling, their initial image of God. I got that grace. The reason why I said I forgive them, they didn't know what they are doing, is the result of the fall. Again, God reminded me that what happened to my community, to my people, to my family, to the 1 million of innocent souls, happened to His Son. So is the result of this the fall. So can you use that bad history to make a better future? Is where now my calling is. Is where now I survived. Is now where the reason why I got the grace of forgiveness and spread the message of forgiveness. Can we teach our children, not indoctrination? Can you tell our children to forgive? Can you tell our children to live in peace? Can you tell our children what I am doing now is my foundation, digital foundation. I'm passionate to talk to young generation to look for their purpose, to not get involved with those non-necessary
unnecessary
things, conflict. Instead, they focus on founding their calling, what God wants them to do. Yes.
And what you've given us is just a summary. The length and the depth of these stories in a book. You can tell us, you can just show us the book.
The book is the book called
Survived to Forgive.
Here in Kenya, you can buy it in Nuria bookshop, and the book is available on Amazon as well. Yes.
For those who are not in Kenya, you can get it online
on
anywhere.
Amazon online. Yes.
Across the globe.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for just having the courage to speak about this, and I believe and I hope that we as Kenyans, we as a country and the world in general, we are going to learn that we are all humans, we are all the same, despite of the small differences that we might have. We are all sons of and daughters of the same God. And most of these things are even political. People may try to divide us so that they gain. We may not gain from beating our neighbors, hating our neighbors. There is no benefit in hate.
Not at all.
As we conclude, what lessons can Kenyans draw from your story? You're heading into an emotive election next year. What lessons would you like Kenyans to get from your story?
So, what happened in Rwanda can happen. Devil, the enemy, can use it to happen anywhere if we continue indoctrination. If the youth are not being careful of accepting those indoctrination, that if you there is a way you can voice your wish peacefully. I wish that Rwanda becoming like a stereotype of what can happen in a nation if we are not united. If you accept the difference to divide you instead of unite you, is what I can say. Our differences, our different tribe, is the reason to be united as one country. A Kenyan can be united as one country. It shouldn't be the reason to be divided. Yes.
All right. Thank you again for coming through.
You're welcome.
Asante.
God bless.